So right now, there's so much chaos going on in the United States where so many people are saying, you know what, I had it and I'm leaving. How many times you heard people say that and actually do it? Well, in this video, I'm gonna share with you guys, someone exactly did just that. And not within a year, within 60 days. I'm gonna link his video to my description, guys. Go ahead and check out his channel because this story is really interesting and I feel exactly where he's coming from.
Need to get out of the USA? Are you trying to make a plan? Are you trying to figure out where to go, what to do, how to transform your life? My partner Spencer and I left Kansas City. We left the USA for good in 2024 after I witnessed a horrific drive-by shooting watching prom kids run for their lives in the nicest neighborhood in Kansas City, Missouri. It was something that I couldn't get past. I decided this was it.
Yo, man, let me tell you something, man. The violence in the United States is getting ridiculously crazy. It's getting way out of hand, and something just needs to happen. Something just definitely needs to happen. And it's scary because you're always hearing stuff on, or you're seeing stuff on social media, or you're hearing stuff from the news, and you're like, the news is just being the news, right? Everyone now wants to call the news fake news, and everything you see on social media is not real, so everyone doesn't believe what they see until it hits home, right? Until it hits a few blocks away from your home, or actually literally like right next to your home, where things like what he said he witnessed what happened. That will cause a lot of people to just change their mind and say, you know what, I gotta do something. Right now, me personally, I'm like, okay, I gotta find another place to live in the States. But to take it a step further and be like, I just gotta leave this country. Now that right there is something you hear so many people say, but not many people do. And I'm not gonna lie, I thought about it, but I didn't think about it as in I hate this country, I want to leave. No, no, no. Because I know in America, it's a land of opportunity, place to make money. I get it. I just get it. It's a place to do business. I get it. But not everybody lives that lifestyle, right? Not everybody's all entrepreneur and chasing like all their dreams. Some people just want to have a chill, relaxed life, enjoy it, not stressed out. And I always said to myself, okay, I'm gonna work in the States for like until probably 55-ish around there and do part-time, like 6 months here, 6 months in another country. And that is like my goal. That's my goal because it's really, really tough right now living in the States, especially with all the violence and with things being so expensive. Like being older where you're not bringing in the same amount of income, or you just don't want to continue to be working the rest of your life, that has to be an option to go somewhere where the cost of living is cheaper. And unfortunately, though, United States, there's not many options. So the fact that he's leaving though due to the violence, yeah, it's getting to a point for a lot of people that they feel like, man, the political climate or the climate in general, United States, is just getting a little too thick.
We'd taken scouting trips before. We'd done all of the things. We'd been planning. We'd been thinking, when is the perfect time? Let me tell you, there's never a perfect time. Sometimes you've just got to go. And today I want to tell you how we did this in 60 days. How we sold our house, our cars, virtually everything we owned except for 4 checked bags and our cat. And we moved to Albania, a country that is both beautiful, safe, and just a great place to live. So let's get into it.
Albania. I never heard of anyone living in Albania. That's going to be an extremely interesting visit. It really is, man. Living in Albania is something you don't hear about. You hear people talking about going to Bali, or some people, now everyone's going to Barcelona or like Madrid. But going to Albania? That is really, really interesting, man. I got to continue watching because from seeing that backdrop, though, oh my Lord, that backdrop is beautiful. What I would do to be out there chilling and it's so quiet and peaceful. He's recording his video, like no noise at all. You just see that beautiful ocean in the background. I really hope he explains how much he paid for that because I would love to know.
Before we do that, please subscribe. Please follow us. It really helps us a lot, and we're trying to bring you tips and stories and information from people like us. Not just us, but friends that we've made along the way, other expats, other people who you can relate to, who you can connect to, who you share similarities with. So again, please subscribe, please follow us. We really appreciate it. All right, so after the shooting, we had a conversation and we were like, all right, it's time to go. What do we do? How do we do this? Where can we go? For us, We had a house to get rid of. We had cars to get rid of, all the stuff. And we also had to figure out where we could live because we didn't want to sit in the US for months while we were waiting on a visa for Portugal, France, or some other country. So that really limited the options to Albania, the country of Georgia, or doing something like hopping around a bit until we found a permanent place that we could stay.
This guy really wanted to get out of the country. No messing around. He's like, I'm done. I don't want to sit here and wait for a visa. He's gone. But the planning that comes along with this is extremely difficult, man. It's doable, but it's extremely difficult. But the cool thing about it is, like we heard it when you mentioned in the video, is like he's telling people to subscribe because there's other people just like him, and there really is. There's a huge population of people who are doing exactly what he is doing, or they did exactly what he did, and they love it. From reading the comments in this video, people were just loving the fact of, yes, I left the country 10 years ago and my life is better. Everyone explains how better their life is as soon as they leave the United States. Now, the experience in America I want to sound like I'm anti-America because I'm not. The experience in America, though, for some people is really a struggle, and for some, it's not. If you're upper middle class, and you have investments, you're saving, you're doing all the right things, got a good job, a safe job, you live in a safe neighborhood, of course things are, you're gonna feel like it's great, everything is great. But that's not the situation for everyone, and not everyone likes just chasing. Everyone likes things to be a lot better, a lot calmer. And right now, with the climate being the way it is, not an option. But it's interesting to see, how much financially of a difference it is. Does anyone out there that did that move? Like, how long did it take for you to get back on your feet? Like, how long did it take for you to recognize, like, oh, I could do this. This is all good. I was freaking out before, but there's nothing to really worry about. It's easier than I actually thought it would be, making a transition from the United States, going to any other country. Drop a comment down below because I would love to hear it. Let's continue watching.
For us, we really wanted to be in Europe, so we decided to go to Albania. We didn't know a whole lot about the country, but we knew we could stay for 12 months, and that gave us runway. That gave us the ability to figure things out after we had gotten out of the US. So our week one in our planning journey was like this. We had to confirm where we were going to go. Like I said, we decided we'd go to Albania. If we really didn't like it, if it didn't work out, we could do something else. But we knew we could stay there for a while. Then we had to figure out money. What were we going to do about money?
It's really interesting because he's right, first of all, like, what are you going to do about the money? But when he was talking, I find it interesting how we could just go to a lot of other countries and just like, we could go there and just figure it out. But that don't fly here in the United States, right? There is no coming here, just chilling and saying, I could come here for 6 months and I could just figure it out. Like, it's that easy. It's not that easy. It's wild how other countries could just go in there and just figure things out. And it's like, no issue. No one's like, get out of my country. None of that. It's really interesting that how the difference between coming into America compared to other countries is. Of course, we're strict on protection and on the border. That's our main goal. But it's just interesting to see how people could just come in and out of other countries, and it's really not that big of a deal. Now, the fact that he touched a little bit on was money. That to me is like the number one thing to this all, right? Is money. How you make things last. Now, I understand some places the cost of living is cheap, but what kind of job are you going to have? Right? Are you going to work remote? Digital nomad obviously is huge. So like, what are the things that you are going to do, right, to try to get ahead? Because we all want to live in a nice place, have all this money, enjoy the luxuries of that place, and just live in peace and just enjoy life, right? I mean, obviously, that's the whole point here. Just you become instantly financially free coming from this situation in the United States, living over there. You're like, damn, you're like a king. I see so many people post videos saying they go to Thailand or whatever. Like, I'm like a king. I only pay like $200 a month on rent. They love it. But money, man, money is like, this thing makes me cringe the most. Is because, like, what can you do in these places to make money in case something doesn't work out, in your remote job that you have? If you lose that job, like, what do you do next?
We were both working corporate jobs. I had the ability to work remotely from mine. I had to keep a domicile, a residence in the United States. So we had to quickly figure out what we were going to do about that, how we were going to maintain a residence without owning a house, because we didn't want those obligations. We chose Savvy Nomad for that. It's a company based in Florida. They really help you with your Florida residency. They helped me comply with all of the payroll and work obligations that I needed to stay employed in the United States. So that was one of the first things we did. We made sure we had some kind of money, some sort of job security coming in.
Now, job security, right? There's no such thing as job security, if you ask me. Now, it feels like when you get a job, you get laid off. It's like part of the cycle. It's like you're going to get laid off. It's just a matter of when. But man, savvy nomad. I live in Florida, never heard of that. It's interesting because I had a conversation with a friend of mine, and I was telling one of my single friends, I'm like, man, you should just become digital nomad. You should just live all over the world. And my friend was like, what the hell is a nomad? Like, he had no idea what that is. And I didn't know until like a few years later what it meant. Until now, I was seeing videos of people saying they're living, other countries and they're living like a king, they're working remote. I didn't know it was like an actual term until I discovered it actually is. Like someone mentioned, I'm like, well, what is this term? And I did a little research. I'm like, oh, these are what the people are doing. They're just working remote throughout the country. And that's smart. I think it's called what do you call it, Rudy? Geography leveraging. I forgot the name of it. It's like geo something, where you're able to take advantage of living in other geographics around the world while you're getting the same pay, say for example, like in San Francisco or New York, and you're able to bring that money and live other places. That's awesome, right? And I had that conversation with my friend. He was like, man, I never even heard of that. And now I'm the first time hearing there actually is companies to help you along with the process of doing that. There's a huge population of people that do that, right? And if you guys been following the news, especially in Mexico and Mexico City, they're having protests saying hell no, because so many people are going over there and doing that. And the bad thing about it is it starts increasing the price of rent and it's making the cost of living more expensive for people out there, right? In Mexico City, where they were able to enjoy life a lot cheaper. So a lot of these countries, man, that's what I would be afraid of. A lot of these countries, they like the simple life and they're afraid of too many people on the outside coming in with all this money, jacking things up. Next thing you know, now the whole life, right, is expensive for everyone within that country. And that's why a lot of these countries now are pushing back on people doing digital nomad, especially if there's a huge population of people, because now everything's getting expensive.
The next thing we had to figure out was, how are we going to get rid of this house and all of this stuff? So we'd called our realtor, and she said, it's summer. People want to be in your house or be in a new house before the school year starts. So that really shrank any sort of timeline for us. It made us realize this is going to happen in the next 2 months, because it was early July and school starts the 1st of September, essentially. So we got the house ready to stage. And in doing that, we had to figure out what to do with the stuff. We'd read online, we'd talked to people, put your stuff in storage, rent your house, sell your house, whatever. We didn't want to put our stuff in storage. We didn't want that obligation. We didn't want the tie back to the US. We were ready to go. We wanted to start again, start new.
He was really traumatized, man, to a point where he doesn't want to be in the United States at all. At all. Because all those things are like a headache, like storage and selling. It's like, oh, man. That's the stuff that wants to hold you back. The more junk you have, you got to get rid of, right? You can't bring all this stuff with you across the country. I mean, you could, but it's going to be expensive. But this guy's like, nah, man. He just wants to sell the house and get rid of everything. Get rid of everything, which, I mean, after going through the experience that he been through, I understand, right? I understand where he's like, yo, I'm done with this. I want to get the hell on out of here. But it's just fascinating, man. Like, I don't know if I could do that, man. I think it's really, really hard for me to do that. I think it's really hard for most people to do that. Drop a comment down below. You let me know. Is it really that difficult if you're someone that did it? And if you're someone who thinks about doing it, do you think about it frequently? You're like, hell no. Just knowing, I don't even want to move from one city to another city. How the hell am I going to move to another country? That's a tough decision to make in life.
So we started calling estate sale companies. And, well, guess what? Estate sales are really popular in the middle of the summer. It was very busy, and none of the big estate sale companies in the area could help us in the time that we needed, in the time that we thought we would likely have our house sold. So we, again, had to figure out what to do. We decided that we would just attempt to do it ourselves. We had gone to multiple estate sales before. We had some experience selling things on Facebook Marketplace. I love vintage cars. I've restored cars for years. I'd sold cars. We had some idea what we were doing. So we just dove in and we started sorting everything we owned. We started this process by buying suitcases. That is literally one of the first things that we did. And we told ourselves, if our stuff does not fit in the suitcases, it's not going to go with us.
That is my type of dude, because I would say the same thing too, man. I hate lugging stuff around. I'm like, whatever fit in the luggage, just start again. Why? If you're going to start again, just start completely all over again. Leave stuff behind, stuff that's not that important. Just material things, just sell it and go ahead and live a new life, a new adventure, and a new journey. But guys, I'm telling you right now, seeing that backdrop, it's hard to listen to what the guy's saying. When you see that backdrop, that island looks beautiful. Okay? Beautiful. That apartment with all that glass around, you can see the ocean. Wow. Now that is amazing.
Then we had to get a little more practical. We had to think about, what do we do with our cat? How do we make sure that he is prepared to move? And what do we do about medications and doctors and this sort of thing? So we called the vet and we said, we're going to Albania. And our vet was like, I don't know how to help you. That's not something I'm super familiar with. You might try these vets. I called a couple more and one of them was like, oh, sure, no problem. I need to do some research to make sure we get the paperwork right, but we'll take care of you. I'll call you back in a couple of days. And they did, and they were fantastic. We have another video about moving with our cat. Please feel free to check that out.
Now I will say this. The medical side of things, to me, call me dumb, okay? 'Cause I was born in America, and this is the only vision I have of other countries when it comes to medical service that is not as sterile as us and is not as efficient as us. And it feels like a lot of places I don't know, like a hole in the wall. Now, I've never been to any of these other countries, so I'm obviously probably dumb when it comes to this, but have heard that other countries' insurance with doctors or whatever, it's not the greatest, right? Some of them are straight up just mean. The way they do services is completely just different. But then at the same time, you hear so many people saying the services in America are so expensive, they damn near going to other countries to get that done for like a third of the cost or like even a quarter of the cost. So obviously there's some type of services that get done well in other countries. I ain't talking about like BBL on tummy tucks. I mean, I'm hearing a lot about people going to Turkey, I believe, for like hair implants and stuff like that. But I'm hearing people go to other countries as well to get veneers or some type of medical procedures, and it's a lot cheaper. So I would think that everything in other countries might be easier, might be better. The medical, right? The medical might be better over there, but at the same time, we do know in America we have a problem with just overly prescribing. Overly prescribing. If you're gonna like a hanging nail, all of a sudden you're gonna get an oxycodone. Like it's like so much prescriptions here in the United States, it's ridiculous. That I can imagine other countries, if you kind of used to that, like any little thing you get a prescription, they're probably not that eager to just give it to you, right? So then it's like you have to understand what that's about. He should be doing more research with the company though. I would with the country. I would get in contact with someone through Facebook or just somewhere where someone could explain the pros and cons of living there. That way you can have a full understanding. Because it seems like for him, he's like, I'm just gonna leave and just figure it out. I don't know if I could go that far.
And then there was the doctor, the medicines. What do we need to do before we leave the US? Because we didn't understand how healthcare worked in Albania extensively, how dental care worked in Albania. So we thought, let's be smart. Let's use our insurance. Let's go get all of the checkups and things. And we did that. The next thing we really started focusing on was how to get rid of all of the stuff. I mentioned we did our own estate sale, but we had to sort an entire house of stuff. We had my great-grandparents' china. We had all of the family photos. We had everything you could imagine in our basement. And we'd renovated this house for the last 5 years, like from the ground up. So we had half-used cans of paint. Initially thought, well, let's donate or discard a bunch of this stuff and we'll sell what's left. But the more we got into the estate sale planning and what we were going to do, we decided, no, let's wait. Let's mark everything for sale that we're not going to take with us. Let's see if it sells, and if not, we'll donate it or discard it then. So this is something I've actually written an ebook about. We've also put out a video about this. We've written a blog post about it. It's something you can do yourself. We made over $10,000 in a weekend, excluding what we made on our cars. We sold stuff like half-used cans of paint. That really helped to fund our move abroad. I mean, no, it didn't pay for everything for years, but it put a lot of cushion in our pocket to make this transition even smoother. We didn't have to give away 30 to 50% of the proceeds of our goods. We didn't just donate them. We thought, we want to build up as much cash cushion as we can. Yes, I was going to maintain my job. Spencer had left his, but I was going to maintain my job, but I didn't want to do that forever. I wanted to get out of this American sort of rat race work culture. So we were trying to think as strategically as we could while meeting our very short timeline. How do we cash in? That estate sale really, really helped for us. So,
You see, that's why you never know, man. You gotta put a price tag on everything. You never know. People nowadays buy everything. They buy everything. And the fact of him selling all his stuff and getting $10,000 of cash, that's a new way to start your life. That is gonna be a very, very big help. You know what I'm saying? I know if I sold all my stuff and had 10,000, then it makes the decision leaving the country a lot easier, especially if you know you're going to a place where the cost of living is a lot less. One thing he said though, kind of made me cringe a little bit, was you think ideally if you're gonna make this move, you want to have the best situation as possible. Like you with a job and whoever you're with to have a job. Him saying the other person he's with is not having a job, uh, that's tough, man. Like I would rather me and the person that I'm with, both of us together, working and try and both having skin in the game to try to figure things out. But going there being the only one bringing in income when the other person is not, I mean, I guess that's a preference, a decision for people to make. But anyway, guys, drop a comment down below. This video was really interesting and fascinating. Fascinating to know within 30 to 60 days, just get the hell out of the country. You can sell everything. And I don't even know if things move that fast, but it seems like it is. And of course, with his situation that he's been through, that's really traumatizing, witnessing a drive-by. So I could see why he's fed up. But other people are just fed up as well, just because of cost of living, the politics, where they're just packing their bags and they're moving to other countries as well. And as I said, I seen some of the comments in the video. Some people were extremely like excited and happy that they made that move. So if there's anyone out there that made that move, drop a comment down below, because I would love to hear it. It's really fascinating. And also subscribe to his channel, man. That seems like a very interesting channel. Someone coming from America living in Albania out of all places, and sharing their experience, man. So drop a comment down below, guys. And at the same time, hit the like, leave a comment, and subscribe. Catch you guys in my next video. Peace.